first reader tonight is no stranger to flash fiction Armagh. She is Sue Divin, and she was brought up the road, the Newry Road, and she currently lives on the Glen Shane Pass, maybe. And her debut novel, Guard Your Heart, was published in April to wide acclaim and much deserved acclaim. And indeed, Sue has some of her books for sale here, her debut novel anyway. And her second novel will be coming out in April this year, and that will be entitled Truth Be Told. Now tonight, Sue is reading an extract from Guard Your Heart. Sue.
Thanks, Raymond. Feels like coming home, because about 3 years ago was the first time I ever read it, flash fiction Armagh, and I was absolutely bricking myself in the orchard, and it was freezing as well. So Raymond, I know you think you're in charge, but I sent 2 extracts to Biddy, the one that I always read, and another one in case people had already heard this one, but she told me I had to read this one, so I'm sticking to what I've been told to do. So, apologies if you've heard this before. This is an extract from Guard Your Heart, which is a novel with 2 18-year-olds set in Derry, and it fits the street strangers thing, like the brilliant photography around here, because this is really the first time Aidan and Iona have really met and chatted over a coffee, and they're now walking up the Derry walls. After leaving the cafe, we dawdled over the brick cobbled crest of Butcher's Gate and past the railings fronting First Derry Presbyterian Church. I smirked at a memory, me, 10, sprinting after Shan like a blue-arsed fly down the banking after paintbombing its great columns one July night. God, but Ma had lit into us after dragging out the explanation for the yellow gloss on our runners. Da's cigarette had wobbled as he tried not to laugh. I could see Iona wondering why I was smiling, but I'd kept my thoughts private. For all I knew, it could be her church. The rain had emptied the walls of all but a handful of Yanks with oversized raincoats and bum bags as we dandered past St Augustine's. It suited me fine not to bump into anyone I knew. God knows what rumours I'd have generated walking up the town with a new sidekick, and a Protestant at that. During the Troubles, the wall hosted a green British Army observation tower like a misplaced Lego build. I was around 6 when I remember Dad pulling in our old Skoda at Free Derry Corner and dragging my attention off the Nintendo DS up to where they were ripping off the iron cladding. Changing times, demilitarisation. Days when the walls were gated and locked for every old firm match, and only the maddest entrepreneurs were wittering about tourist dollars. In the 70s, the IRA blew a 90-foot pillar topped with Governor Walker sky high. It had towered over the bogside, imposing its Britishness on the Catholic houses huddled in the terrace streets below. Da had revelled in telling glory stories of chunks of its rubble decorating bogside mantelpieces. Rose-tinted bedtime stories delivered with slurred words and the smell of beer. Iona and I walked past the pillar stump and the trees on Grand Parade to the orange brick of the Verbal Arts Centre. To imagine, to create, to learn, read the stone plaque over its door. Fine if you're 5 and playing with plasticine. In the good old days, we played with grey plasticine that smelled of Christmas and went boom. My dad used to brag. Part of me still wished I was 5. It was easier to know who you were in them days. I glanced at Iona. Best to keep radio silence on the IRA family heritage. I couldn't resist clambering on the cannons at the double bastion overlooking the bogside murals. Iona had looked up as I'd grinned like a maniac, delicately balanced with my arms held wide on the barrel of Roaring Meg. Have you ever broken a bone? She'd asked. You my guardian now? I'd laughed back, raising my bandaged fingers. I'd broken my left arm when I was 5 running too fast down Craigan Hill after a football. When I was 7, I badly sprained an ankle playing Superman off a 5-foot wall in our playground. At 10, I turned my big toe licorice after busting it with a brick on a building site at dusk. Ma was a season ticket holder at A&E. So, "What are you for now? School's out," I'd asked Iona as I straddled the barrel, watching her gaze over the ramparts down the grass to Free Derry Corner. Her heart was set on studying English at Queen's University in Belfast. I must have skipped school the day they taught decision making. My crystal ball was drowned in slurry somewhere. I had an offer from Queen's too, but I'd fit university like a fart in a wetsuit. Middle class bollocks. Our clan were smart like, but no one had mortarboard photos over the fireplace. Saoirse could make anyone do anything. Sean quit school early over his dyslexia, but he could wire everything. Cars, radios, your head with bloody community politics. No one really had any expectations of me, except myself after a few pints. Then I'd be for taking on the world. Aunt Teresa needed prayer when I scraped enough GCSEs to get back into year 13. My teachers needed vodka.